My name is Andrew Byaruhanga, and I'm the Executive Director of Resource Rights Africa, based in Kampala, Uganda. We are an advocacy and development organization who are working with communities impacted by mining activities in Uganda. Right now, I'm here in Mwanza, Tanzania, attending a Right to Say No training organized by Haki Madini, Africa Transcribe, and with sponsorship from WoMin. It is the free, prior and informed consent is very, very important for communities to get to understand the principles therein, simply because we are seeing mining companies going to communities, acquiring land, displacing people without consulting them, without compensating them, without getting their consent. And in here, when we are talking about consent, we mean that communities have a right to say no as well. The right to say no is part of consent. If the company is to get communities land, then the communities can either say no or yes, and that should be respected, and it's part of the free, prior and informed consent principles that we are talking about. So we are seeing many corporations going to African communities and acquiring land without consulting them. And this is a big concern to us because we are seeing a race for extractivism. And this is driven also by capitalism and of course also driven by patriarchy. Because you find that in most cases, even where corporations have tried to compensate communities, the women are not at the table. And that is a big concern because they are not consulted, they are not on the table, they don't receive any compensation. And this is why we are saying that the principle of free, prior and informed consent is very, very important. One, we've also realized that this principle of free, prior and informed consent is missing in many of our jurisdictions. Many of our countries have not embedded the free, prior and informed consent principles in the national legislation. And as such, we as actors with support from WoMin, we are here now to add our voice and say our countries need to do no more. Need to do more. So we want to see how to amplify this voice and see where do we get consent clauses in our national constitution, in our national laws, in our policies, such that we can be able to inform communities that they have a right to say no. We are not saying that in our advocacy campaign, we are saying communities should always say no. No, communities can also say yes, where they are fully consulted, they are fully involved in the projects, and they are part of the whole development chain. This training organized by WoMin and Haki Madini has really helped me as a participant in a way that I have learned quite a lot of principles that I'm carrying home to my communities. For example, we have learned that there is a drive to undertake extractivism in many of our communities here in Africa. And this is driven by the green kind of extractivism, which is being promoted by the global north. And when they are also talking about energy transition, we are seeing this rush for African minerals, and which is really destroying the environment. It's destroying territories, it's destroying people's livelihoods, and therefore these concepts that we have gotten here are quite important. Secondly, we have learned that there is a connection between what is happening between capitalism, patriarchy, and this is quite absurd. So We are saying no to capitalism, we are saying no to patriarchy, such that the women who are at the forefront of putting food on the table, the women who are at the forefront of conserving nature, they are well considered and finalize their operations. The key insights that we get out of here is that we need to do more as the actors on the ground. We need to see how we defend, how we protect our women defenders who are on the ground and working. We need to connect with them, and we need to promote the Pan-African language in all our operations. We need to understand that patriarchy and capitalism will not work, and we need to ensure that even the energy transition, which we are talking about, we need to fight it, because at the end of the day we've realized that the energy transition is benefiting the global north, and there is now a rush to the south to get these minerals that are needed in the energy transition, and they are creating more harm than good. So what I take from here is that we need to do more as actors, we need to do research, we need to do coalition building, and we need to ensure that the women are well catered for in this whole debate.